Whatever your goal number is for 2025, I'm going to show you how you can have that number before we leave today, okay? And not like, it's kind of, no. I'm going to give you a foolproof plan to get that number in 2025. All right, somebody put it in the chat so you have me on record, okay? I need my court reporter. I'm going to give you exactly how to do that. So to really kick it off, I need you guys to put in the chat for me. In 2025, what is the number you would like to be making a month? Put that in there for me. I want to know, what's your goal numbers? Okay, what's your goal number? Arlene, 25K, I like it. 35, a million in a month. Well, it's this one here. Okay, 25, 30, very nice. Okay, let's do a little math. All right, let's just do a little math real quick. Ain't gonna hurt nobody. Let's take our 20,000. Shall we do that? Let's take the weekends off. Okay, we're not gonna worry our pretty little head. We're gonna spend time with our families. Let's divide that 20,000 by 20 days in a month. What does that give us? That gives us $1,000 we need to be making a day, Monday through Friday. So we need to be having $1,000 days. And you can take the weekend off. Okay, enjoy your family on Saturday, church on Sunday, however you spend your weekends. But Monday through Friday, we need to be having $1,000 days, okay? You got it, Tawana, we having $1,000 days. So let's design our day, shall we? We're already living in the future. Well, we're bringing in $20,000 a month. I wanna know, how do you spend your day? I wanna know, let's ask specific questions. What are you doing to stay sharp in personal development? Because we bringing in $20,000 a month. Now is not the time, okay, to go backwards on personal development. I want to know. Okay, Tawana says she's getting up early to pray and meditate. Praise God. Time management, miracle morning, fasting. I know that's right. Okay, fasting to clear my head. Okay, Terrence, what are we doing in our miracle morning? What are we doing in our miracle morning? And I'm gonna write down some of y'all stuff because I don't want to forget. Diana said Bible, workout, schedule, check emails, decree what I want to see, period. Okay, morning devotion. Okay, yes to all the above, eat healthy, all the things. How are we keeping up with our personal development? We got too much on the line to go backwards. What are we doing for that? How are we being good stewards of our time management? Business podcasts, absolutely. How are we managing our time? Oh, I love it. Audible books, mentorship, okay, therapy, meal prep, time blocking. Time blocking is incredible. Surrounding myself with people who have growth mindsets, coaching checklists. Okay, y'all got a good day. 3 tasks a day consistently, okay, the rule of 3. So you have all these things that you're gonna do for your $1,000 day because you can't lose your momentum. What I wanna invite you to do, okay, because I want you to write this down because this is what I want to preference to you. Are you preparing for what you're praying for? If you had to be honest, are you really preparing for what you're praying for? $1,000 days. You can't do 1,000 Monday and then 500 on Tuesday. You just messed up your momentum. You get up in the morning, you got to keep the clients and customers you already have happy and constantly bringing in new ones. So marketing has to be consistent. You can't stop marketing just because you're busy. You have to get up and make sure you're working on your personal development because leadership has to be sharp. You don't only have to lead yourself, but you have to lead your team. You have to get up and make sure that you're in some type of coaching program because evolution is necessary. You can't get where you are being the same person you were, otherwise you already be there. So all of these things are gonna have to be included in your day. Are you preparing for what you're praying for though? Or are you praying for something and the life you're living is completely disconnected from where you want to go? Then God would have to take the blessing and inject it like a needle because there is nowhere in your life where it looks like this is where you want to go. This is where you have to do your own intrinsic audit of how you're spending your days. What excuses do you find acceptable of why you don't do certain things? Because here's what I want to tell you. The $1,000 day is not going to come if you're doing the same thing you were doing to have $200 days. There has to be a part of you that can tap into another level and do it consistently. Don't depend on yourself to do it on your own. You have to stay close to coaching and mentorship and constantly being sharpened. There's some people, you show up on every call, you don't want to miss nothing. Your $1,000 days are on the way because part of what happens is you have to become somebody different. I'm going to tell you, okay, I promise you, I'm going to tell y'all how to get your $1,000 day. So now watch this. I'm going to take you to the word for a second. Okay. We're going to go to the word. I don't know if y'all are all Bible-based people, but I'm going to take you to the word and I'm going to give you a little backstory. So even if you're not, okay, I'm going to explain the story to you. So if anybody of you have heard of the Israelites in the Bible, okay, yeah. They wandered for 40 years trying to get to the promised land. Your promised land is your $1,000 days, okay? They had a leader named Moses. Moses couldn't pull it off. He got him eerily close, but he couldn't pull it off because of his own disobedience. So a man named Joshua was assigned to lead the charge. I want you to watch this closely. The minute that Joshua was put in charge, God told him to be strong and courageous 3 times. He said, now, I'm going to tell you right now, he already know he got a bunch of misfits, okay? The Lord said, now these ones here, all they do is complain and disobey and complain and disobey. But I promised them I was going to get them to the promised land. And I need you to take them to the promised land. Do you want to know the first bit of advice that Joshua gave these people? It was in Joshua 3:5, and he says, sanctify yourself, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. That is the advice that Joshua gave. Sanctify yourself, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. What was he telling them? Prepare for what you're praying for. Prepare. If you really want to get to the promised land, you can't do the same things you were doing. Why would he tell them this? And even when I read this, I was like, Lord, you ain't really make nobody else have to sanctify themselves. You was throwing out miracles and making it happen for generations of people. And then Jesus came and he was throwing out miracles and they didn't have to do anything extra. So there was never a rule where you had to sanctify yourself to receive the miracle. So I was just looking. But let me tell you why he did that. As I began to really analyze the Israelites, he did that because they had a history of disobedience. They had a history of complaining. They had a history of wanting to do things their way. They had a history of saying one thing and then doing another. They had a history of saying, I'm believing God for the promised land, and everything in their life was in hypocrisy to that belief. They had a history of that. So what I want you to write down is, what do I have a history of? What do I have a history of? It's okay. We're amongst family. Okay, the mean daddy is he's somewhere in the background. What do I have a history of? This is where you got to be real honest. Do you have a history of getting real close to the finish line and then messing it up? Do you have a history of not preparing for what you're praying for? Because they had a history of saying what they wanted and then living like complete heathens and then mad that God didn't do it. Do you know they were ripped out of the claws of slavery from Pharaoh only to be in safety and complain? Do you have a history of delusion where you complain even when it's good? What do you have a history of? Because based off of your history is going to let you know what you need to do to sanctify yourself. For tomorrow, the Lord will do wonders among you. I want you to understand that about yourself. What do I have a history of that prevents me from getting to my goals? That's number one thing I want you to write down. What do you have a history of? Okay, now watch this. Sanctify yourself, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. I looked up wonders, okay? If anybody knows me from God's Math, I like to look up the words in the Bible and know exactly what they mean. Wonders means extraordinary. Wonders means marvelous. Wonders means wonderful. This is my favorite one. This is my favorite one, y'all. Wonders mean difficult to understand. So let me get this right. You're going to do extraordinary, marvelous, wonderful things that to the natural eye, to my neighbor, to my sister and my brother, would be difficult to understand. And all I got to do is sanctify myself. All I got to do is prepare for what I'm praying for. All I got to do is act as if I already have the thing before I have the thing. Okay. All right. So let me show you what your responsibility is. I looked up sanctify. It means hollowed out. What is that? What do y'all mean? What does that mean? You're hollowed out. It means that everything you thought was going to give you the result that you know is not based in truth, you have to remove it. Hollowed out means you need to be emptied out. How many of you come to, now don't answer foreign words, okay? But how many of you come to your coach with your ideas and your you gonna put your own little remix on it? Baby, you gotta be hollowed out so somebody could pour into you. Some of you too smart to get the solution. I mean, you're still spending in the same place with the same bank balance. and somebody wants to help you and they can't. So you have to be hollowed out, consecrated, to be devoted to be treated as sacred. To be treated as sacred. How many of you treat your days sacred because you're preparing for what you're praying for? If you can tell me, okay, because even words say I'm off social media, Netflix. I got some goals I'm trying to hit in fourth quarter. He said I'm leaving 2024 with something that he didn't have at the beginning. He needs to have it before the clock strikes midnight. That's the kind of mentality where you're treating your own life as sacred and you're preparing for what you're praying for. You put a demand on the promises of God. I'm gonna give you one more scripture and then I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story. 2 Chronicles 16:19. Watch this. For the eyes of the Lord run to and fro throughout the whole earth to show himself strong in the behalf of those whose heart is perfect towards him. What does that say? He will hunt you down if you prepare for what you're praying for. How many want to be on God's hit list? How many want to be on his hit? How many? It's a board in heaven, and he said, you got to bless these people. They've been preparing for what they're praying for. I will not be called a liar. You got to bless these people. How many want to be on the hit list? All you got to do is prepare for what you're praying for. That's it. That's the cheat code. Sanctify yourself, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. Everything he does in your life will be difficult to understand. People won't understand how you're able to get it. All right, now do my hit list, people. Put me on it. Okay, top 10 most wanted. I want to be on his hit list. So if you want to be on God's hit list, you want to be on his radar, that's all you have to do. So here's what I preference to you. All right, this is what I want you to do. That's what I want you to do. We're going to design our day now like we already have it. We're going to design our days now like we already have it. And then we're going to do it consistently. Because a lot of y'all don't have no stamina. I'm telling you right now, y'all can do what I'm about to tell y'all to do for about 3 days and then you tapping out. But the key is the consistency. The key is the compound interest of you doing this day after day after day. So what I'm telling you is, if you're doing $1,000 days, then how many of you complain about working in this portal and getting this work done? But that's how you prepare for what you're praying for. That's how you put a demand. That's how you get on the hit list. Because while the other person is watching Netflix, you in the portal getting this work done. Let me tell you why you don't want to get in the portal and get your work done. Because you have an issue with delayed gratification. You want it right now. And I told my babies yesterday, the only people that want it right now and can't appreciate delayed gratification are under the age of 5. So I want you to know that if you can't appreciate delayed gratification, it's a sign that you're acting like a toddler. It's a sign that you're immature. It's a sign that you want what you want when you want it and you don't understand that it's a process. But I know you're smarter than that. Some of y'all got children. It's a 9-month process. You get a miracle at the end. It's a process. But if you get in this process and you don't move and you do it day after day after day after day, you will sanctify yourself. And tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you, because he says it himself. I'm looking to and fro to find somebody to bless. But they got a history of disobedience, and they got a history of inconsistency, and they got a history of being a hypocrite. But if you sanctify yourself, you put yourself on his radar, you know where to be found right now. She said she wanted this. But right now she rewatching Scandal. I don't know if okay, well, hold on, let me keep looking. Okay, there we go. Well, Vanessa, see, she right there at her computer, she working. Okay, well, I'm gonna just make sure she really wanted. Let me check back again tomorrow. We check back again tomorrow. Vanessa there again. We check back again tomorrow. She there one more time. We check back again tomorrow. God said, angels be dispatched. She's not gonna keep playing with me. Be dispatched and deliver her blessing, because I'm looking to and fro. But for God to really know your heart, the consistency gotta be there. For God to really know your heart, he's got to see how you react when adversity comes. How many of you don't really know somebody's character until you piss them off? How do you act when you get pissed? Oh, you still gonna represent me well? You ain't used the swear word. You stood on scriptures. You didn't catch an attitude. How dare you honor me in this way? I'm looking to and fro. Hit list. Add them to the hit list. Add them to the hit list, because if they were standing there 100 people, 99 of them would have had an opposite reaction. Some of you justify your actions when you get emotional, and you tell people, well, I was upset, child. I couldn't even. That is not an excuse. You are not a toddler. Can you control your emotions on the journey? Can you only work when you feel like it? What is that? I don't feel like it today. I just wasn't feeling it today. I'm gonna get in there tomorrow though. Are you insane? That's exactly how your bank account gonna look. Like it didn't feel like making a deposit. And you gonna feel like complaining about it. And you bet not blame your coach. So we're gonna be mature in 2025, okay? We're gonna be mature in 2025. We're gonna act like we got some sense. We're not gonna act like the Israelites. But by the time January 31st comes, even in 2025, we're gonna have 31 days of having a history of being consistent and having a history of preparing what we're praying for and having a history of locking in. And we're gonna be on God's hit list. We're going to be on his hit list. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story real quick. Okay, so my Reba babies may know, but I've been a real estate VA on that business for a decade. My very first hire was the wonderful Tristan Skiles. Give it up for Tristan. Was the wonderful Tristan Skiles, and we started to get some clients, and we were getting some momentum in our business, y'all. But it was just me and Tristan. I was doing the contracts, Tristan was doing the listings, and then all the other things in the business we were shuffling between the both of us. We were up late and up early. We were up late and then we were up early. We were up late and then we were up early. We said, my God in heaven, did we leave our jobs to come get a job that with the terrible, most worst bosses ever? Like, this is not gonna work. And I remember I was always in pursuit of personal development. Even as a leader, no matter how busy I was always consumed in a book, an audible book while I was working. Something had to be pouring into me at all times because I was running from who I used to be. And I could not let the old me catch me. I had some momentum and I could not let the old me catch me. And the old me was a sprinter, baby, okay? Was a sprinter and could shoot. So I was running from the old me. So I was constantly immersed in personal development. And on my sprint going faster than the old me in personal development, I came into this book called E-Myth, Why Most Small Businesses Fail and What to Do About It. And in E-Myth, he said, you have to set up your business almost like a franchise. And you got to know exactly what everybody's roles are. And so I went back to Tristan and I said, Tristan, this is what we're going to do. Tristan said, Tiff, I got 6 listings and a marketing plan. And Eric said, I don't got time for your reindeer games. Okay. I said, no, I'm telling you, this is going to be it. And she didn't want to do it, but she did it with me anyway, because she a rider. Okay. That's why she's been with me 10 years. And so this is what we did, y'all. So we had created procedures for a transaction coordinator manager, a listing coordinator manager, a listing coordinator, a marketing manager, and then marketing assistants. And then what are those assistants gonna do? And then who are they gonna report to? Meanwhile, it's just me and Tristan. And then we're gonna have an administrative manager, and then that assistant, and then who they gonna report to? Meanwhile, it's just me and Tristan. And then we're gonna set up audit forms, and then we're gonna know how the employees the contractors are doing, because the manager is gonna audit them. Meanwhile, it's just me and Tristan. And then those people that are managing them, they're gonna have weekly meetings. They're gonna report to us and let us know what's going on. We're gonna jump in there how we need to. Meanwhile, it's just me and Tristan. We're gonna have a portal with all the training. So when somebody is hired, this is the onboarding they're gonna do. And then I'm okay, Tris, I gotta block this time out Monday, Tuesday to do these trainings. She, girl, you know how busy we are? Because meanwhile, it was just me and Tristan. But I still blocked my time out and I set up this training portal for employees that we did not have and we were not even looking for it just yet. And do y'all know 6 months to the day, every role we created was filled because I put myself on God's hit list, because I prepared for what I was praying for and I sanctified myself. And guess what he did? In 6 months, what he did was difficult to understand. So I want you to create your day right now as if you already have it. As if you already have it. Make your faith so strong that you get up every single morning and you're working on your business. It may not have made a dime, but you're working on it 5 hours a day and you're in that portal as if you already have $1,000 days. And if you don't go in that portal, you will not get your $1,000 deposit. And if you don't do those exercises, you will not get your $1,000 deposit. And if you don't come on these coaching calls and take notes and execute on what they say, you will not get your $1,000 deposit. And if you don't wrap those coaching calls up and start doing execution lists and then time blocking and then meeting with people, and then how am I going to do this, and then working on that, you will not get your $1,000 deposit. If you create your day like that, and then you do it day after day after day, so that when your heart is tested, it's pure, that you really truly want this, I promise you, you will make his hit list. And what you think you have to wait until fourth quarter of 2025 to get, you will have it by the end of first quarter in 2025. Because momentum and compound interest will be your portion. So your homework is to write out your day and what that looks like if you already have it. And I want you to make the first milestone to do that day for 30 days straight. Test it and come back and tell me I'm a liar. I promise you. I've seen it too many times. When I lock in on something, I am undefeated. And God is not a respecter of persons. And I'm not that smart. I'm a college dropout that couldn't do third grade math because I had to file bankruptcy just to keep them from losing our house 10 years ago. God is not a respecter of person. But once I took off running to run from my old me, and I kept my momentum, I ran into multiple seven figures. I ran into being able to travel all around the world. I ran into now being able to lead the charge and have people that's running from something themselves and being able to see things in themselves that they never saw before. And it's only because I made a decision 10 years ago that I'm gonna start preparing for what I'm praying for. And I'm not gonna live in hypocrisy to what I put on my vision board and what I wrote on my goals list. I'm gonna put a demand on the promises of God, and I'm gonna be a walking testament. And he'd have to be called a liar not to bless me, because every single day I'm gonna get up and act like I already have it. Any questions? Are y'all enjoying the video? I sure hope you are. I'm gonna pop in for a second, Tiffany from the future, and just tell you that 10 years ago, I was not doing all the crazy and lovely things that you see me doing now. I was bankrupt in financial disarray, but I tapped into a little known niche in real estate, and I was able to make multiple six figures a year, and I've done so consistently for the past decade. And I tell you all about what I do and how I do it. This is what I do. I tell you exactly how I started it, exactly how I scaled it to multiple six figures, being a college dropout and apparently couldn't do third grade math because I was bankrupt, which is just adding and subtracting. And I did not feel like I had the knowledge or entrepreneurs around me to teach me what to do. But guess what? I scaled it to multiple six figures a year. And then I also show you how I've sustained it. Because some people can show you how to scale something, but they can't show you how to keep it. So I show you all those things. All you have to do is go to tiffany'smasterclass.com, and I tell you for free. Back to the video. Y'all can ask me questions.
Yes, you did.
Can I just say thank you so much? Like, that was confirmation for me, because God literally started telling me, you keep complaining about, why you don't see the money, But he kept saying you're not preparing. Then he started telling me to develop just like you said, the role and the responsibilities. And I'm like, oh, like what? It just was sounding weird. And then for you to say it again, I'm like, okay, thank you, Lord. Like, it's confirmation.
Let me say this. I'm so glad she said that. She said it sounded weird for that to be the thing that was going to make me my money. So this is what I love about even the story where he says, sanctify yourself for the Lord, sanctify yourself for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. Because the chapter after that is when they took Jericho. So if anybody knows the story of Jericho, I'll just tell it to you in about 60 seconds. So the Israelites, thousands and thousands of people show up, they want to take over a city. Jericho don't play no games. They got a wall around them that they built. A wall. You're not going to just come up in here and cutting up. And so they needed a strategy to get past this wall. And so you would think, I said, Lord, you kind of, the beginning from the end. You could have gave them the little ingredients to make a bomb real quick. We could blow that joker up half a day. And he said, no. I want you to walk around it for 7 days. Just walk around it once a day for 7 days. And on the seventh day, I want you to walk around it 7 times. Guess what, Shanice? That sounds crazy. That sounds unorthodox. That sounds like it's not gonna work. That sounds silly. But if God say do it, let me put on my what they be wearing now. Let me put on my hookahs and
the hookahs.
and get the walking. But that's the thing, is sometimes, see, good coaching is typically counterintuitive to what you instinctively think you should be doing. So when you hear it, you're like, I don't know, that sounds weird. That sounds like that shouldn't work. And the fact you're like, I'm like, okay, is that gonna do it? Baby, I'm telling you, that's the key. The fact that it sounds crazy is the key, because God is not gonna do the same thing and do it the same way that everybody else does it. He gonna want his own spin and his own remix, because he want to get all credit and all glory and all honor. So they walk around it one time, and then on the seventh day they walk around it 7 times, and then at the end of the 7th time you're like, okay, so is this when we make the bomb? He said, no, then just shout. Then just shout. And the walls came tumbling down. I don't care how crazy it sounds or unorthodox it sounds, do not give up. Can you imagine if they stopped walking around those walls on the 4th day because they were like, this is stupid?
Bro,
it's not working. The consistency is the key, because the consistency is the testing of the heart. Do you do it when you don't feel like it? Do you do it when you don't see results yet? Do you do it and stay in it and stand on the promises? Stand on the promises means you don't move. You have to stand on the promises. You don't move. Somebody can't come and tell you something. You wait, what'd you say? And now you're gone. If it's 7 days, it's 7 days. If it's 7 times on the 7th day, it's 7 times on the 7th day, and the walls will come down. Y'all have to start demanding the promises of God. When you do that, you just have to see, okay, Lord, okay, every scripture, think of it like a contract. What's my part and what's his part? Focus on your part. He gonna do his part every time. Where my witnesses at? If you focus on your part, he gonna do his part every time. So thank you, Shanice, for your not question that I just answered like it was. Okay. Trishelle, okay, what question do you have?
That's so good. Consistency is the testing of the heart.
How will I really know if you want it? Unless I see you consistently doing the thing. And let me tell you what else is the testing of the heart, is how you respond in adversity. Those are the 2 biggest tests that God is going to give you. What's your consistency? And are you living righteous up until somebody pisses you off? Are you living righteous up until you have a heartbreak and then you tumble and crumble in your own hands in sin and disbelief and this ain't gonna work and stinking thinking? Or can you grit your teeth and say, nope, if you said I'm supposed to have it, then I'm gonna have it, and I don't like how she talked to me, but God, take me to your word. Okay, you said forgive her 7 times. The disciples said they need more faith to do that. I think I'm with the disciples. If I got to forgive her 70 times 70, I'm gonna need, but if you just work on my heart, because you died for me and I know I did some trifling stuff and you forgave me and you still treat me kind and you still woke me up and you still put oxygen in my lungs, then I can forgive them too. And when you start living like that, hit list. I'm telling you, hit list. He gotta bless you. It's like to not bless himself because you look like him. He gotta do it.